Welcome to SBCC TV. In this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a new post. And before we jump into that, we're going to talk about a little bit of planning that you may want to do before you create a post. So creating your first post, as you're creating and planning, you may want to think about, how you're going to present your material in a consistent manner. Consistency maybe with your headers or your titles, your paragraph style, your fonts, links, and then maybe even some of your assets, your images and your videos. For an example, this is an example of a news story for SBCC baseball that has a title, it has kind of a subtitle, and then a title of the post, another little subtitle here, the paragraph font here, and then down below we also have some other information. But there's planning that took place when this was created to think of how do I want to format this, what's going to make the information stand out, as well as hopefully make it accessible, that a screen reader, for someone who's visually impaired, that their screen reader would be able to identify this information and the structure of the article. So one way to do this is to actually create a post template. Makes your consistency better, and we're going to look at a couple different ways that you may want to try to do this. One way, you may just create your post, have all the formatting in it, and then just paste that as your template. We'll talk about what happens when you do that. It will actually have old article information in it, or you can actually create a template with just some formatting in it so that when you open up a new post, it just has some formatting already built in for you. Again, we're going to take a look at both of these. So let's get back into Blogger. Right now I'm on my dashboard where I can see all three of my different blogs that I have access to, and I'm going to be working in this SBCC Athletics, and I'm going to go ahead and click Create New Post. And I'm just going to kind of review how to create some formatting and how to work within this. Obviously up here we've got our post title, and I'm just going to make up a title here. Let's call it example formatting, and then I can start typing. So I can say SBCC defeats world champions. I'm going to say, wow, what a great game. And Jen Robinson was the best player on the field. I'm going to say SBCC, 5, SB, other team, 0. So I've just typed in some basic information, and now I'm going to go through and format it. So I'm going to select my title here and maybe give it the heading format. I'm going to select my subtitle here, maybe give it a subtitle, maybe I want to also italicize it, and then I'm just going to leave this my normal font. I can also change my font to different types of font. I'm just going to leave it to the default for right now, and here maybe I want this to be bold, and there we have it. So this is, again, just some really basic formatting. Maybe I also want this to have a background color to it. So I'm going to apply this gray. And I've created some basic formatting. I'm going to save this. Notice I haven't published this yet, so it's not live on my site. I can also preview it, see what it looks like, so I can get a little feel for that. I'm going to go back to my blog site, and then I'm just going to close this. Here I am back to my post, and you can see example formatting. I actually have one already created ahead of time for demonstration for the template, and then you can see I have my other posts. So let's say we already have a post that we really like the look of. We've done some really good formatting in it, taken some time with it. And maybe we want to use this formatting and actually this content as a basic setup for our template. So how do I do that? I've clicked on the post that I want to use. I'm going to click on HTML. I'm going to use my shortcut keys Control A to select all, Control C to copy this. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And then I'm going to make sure I'm in SBCC Athletics. I'm going to click on Setting and then Posts and Comments. And under Post Settings, Posts and Comments, I have Post Template. And I'm going to click that Add button. And I'm going to use my shortcuts again, Control V. And I'm going to save this. So what I've done is I've saved that article, the formatting that was in that article, as a template. Now when I click on New Post, it's defaulted to HTML, so I'm going to click on Compose. You can see this new post, it's not my other one, it's asking me for, you can see this is post title, and it's got this formatting. So if I were going to work in here, I would start changing this information, and I would say Thursday, May 3rd, and I would start putting different information in here. SBCC defeats world champs, and I would just start composing this. I'm going to put start of use of article template, and I'll just save this. So you can see, just used what I've already created and created a template with it. Click close. If I create a new post, again it's going to default and use that same article as my template. That's one way to create a template for this. Create an article and then just reuse that old article. The problem with that sometimes, at least I found when I do something like that, is forgetting to change parts of the article, where I'm like, oh, dang, that's not really what I wanted to do. I left that score in there, and that's an old score, and then it may become confusing. So it may not be the best solution for you, but it is an option to create a template from an article that you're going to use. Another option, I'm going to look at this, I've already built this, is to kind of create a default template with just some built-in formatting. So even though these have brackets around it, it's really just for the user to see. I'm going to select in here, create a date, put my date, SPCC at, I'm going to enter an opponent. So these brackets aren't dynamic, and as you can see, I'm going to actually change this bracket right now so that it's a regular bracket, and I would actually delete those brackets out of there. Right now this is just an article. It is not my template. My template is still based on the other article that I used. So I'm going to save this since I made a change to it, and I want to use this now for my template. So again, I'm going to click on HTML. I'm going to select all, Control C to copy this, go back to my SBCC athletic post, click on settings, and as you can see, this has the old HTML from the article that I was using. So I'm going to go ahead and Control A, select all, Control V, paste this, and then I'm going to save these settings. Now when I create a new post, defaulted to HTML, I'm going to click on close, and I'm going to put based on basic template. I'm going to save this, and now I can start creating, filling in the date here, May 3rd, 2012, SPCC at Ventura College. I'll put 6 p.m. And you can see I can start filling in the information. Again, these aren't dynamic. It's not like using a template in Microsoft Word or somewhere where you double click and then you can start typing. I'm going to actually delete that information, and I'm going to put Jennifer, she had 5 hits, 2 errors, 7 home runs, whatever the statistics are for different players. And then Josie, and I can start typing. This, if I could save it, and I can preview this, you can see what it looks like. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing. If you need help setting up templates, getting some basic templates set up, you can email the help desk and we can help create some basic templates in here for you. But again, your 2 choices are maybe to create a template based on an old article and then you just replace that information, or maybe create a template that is based on just some basic formatting that you can just reuse over and over. I am going to show you just for kicks and giggles in here. So I've got this 4 template. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I don't want that in here, which if you created kind of this generic page to grab some formatting from it, you may want to delete that out of there. Notice these are just drafts. None of these are published, which we'll go into more detail when we talk about creating content for these pages. And I'm also going to delete this page. So there you have it. Creating a post template so that you are consistent as you post information in your blog.